Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia. This is the Commander's Briefing. Last week we've talked about a lot of issues and I asked you guys for comments whether you guys want this to continue, and a lot of positive comments. So I'm going to try and I'll try to make it nicer. This is in Iran, in the Palestinian square. There is this very big poster that wrote, the next mistake for you will be the end of your fourth state, which clearly will not happen because Iran have no land border with Israel. There's no way either side can destroy each other in a end state kind of a situation. This is a very interesting thing. So this NAFO guy say that he F Russia, F Iran, F the imperialist, barbarian, terrorist, genocidal maniac everywhere. Then why don't they go F themselves and be normal? And when will Iran's nonsense finally wake up the West? And I find this very interesting because my first question is, how do they F themselves? So I basically retweeted, no, this is a serious question. How? How do you F yourself as a country? So I'm not sure. Maybe like Germany. Israel called for an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. This comes after Iran launched a massive missile and drone barrage into Israel, and the reality is that they should have done this in the October 7 Hamas attack, and not went straight into just bombing Gaza Strip. I think I have mentioned this before. I will mention this again. The right thing to do for Israel should have been to hold back. They can secure their border first with Gaza Strip. They can clear out the attackers, the terrorists, whatever you want to call them, of their own territory first, while they call for an emergency meeting of the United Security Council and ask the UN Security Council to act and to put pressure and to endorse a military operation and something like this. And if the United Nations Security Council do not make appropriate kind of action, or to take a certain appropriate kind of action, then Israel will then can threaten that if you are not going to solve this problem with Hamas, we will do it ourselves, and then then Israel can continue to do whatever they have done, and the problem would then the entire responsibility would then lie a lot more on the United Nations for not doing their part. I think this is the way how you should play the geopolitics. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that it's wiser that way, rather than having whatever nonsense that currently happening to Israel, where they are losing the support from the international community. So that's what I think. These are chanting. Is very fascinating, and they are and then this is a translation of what they are chanting. And then I got reminded of Dune, Lisan El Gaib, Lisan El Gaib. So something random. The Mensch Olsen said that he don't believe that Israel will retaliate, and he said that the Iranian response was balanced. And personally, I retweeted because I actually do agree with that point. And I also don't think that Israel should retaliate because it's not wise to do so. Then DPA chat have a new logo on the Telegram, so I like it a lot, and it makes the chat look the chat group feels a lot more cooler, a lot more cool. So we go on. Yeah, so there's this guy. He blocked me. So he wrote he wrote about United States being not fair. I think you won't be able to see what he originally wrote. It actually went rather viral, a lot of likes, a lot of retweets, and he basically complains that the United States is not doing whatever they can to help Ukraine, and it's like the way the United States have supported Israel versus Ukraine, there's a clear double standard. And I basically commented below. I say, good, you're starting to wake up. And I literally just write the reality, the truth. The West is using Ukraine to make the Slavic people kill fellow Slavic people. That's simply what it is. And I say that the earlier you realize this reality, the better. Because the NAFO, for those that do not know what is NAFO, you may hear me say this a lot. It's basically North Atlantic Fellow Organization. It's basically just a troll organization where they just claim that they are part of this organization. They put a doggy as their profile pic, and then they just go around trolling pro-Russians or neutral people. They are not supporting Ukraine. So that's what they do. But the thing is that as fun as it is, they are actually getting weaponized by these evil people that is pulling the strings to fight an unnecessary war. The entire Ukraine war, in my opinion, it was an unnecessary war. There is no reason this war should be fought. So, but however, the war is fought, and yeah, people died, and it's super unnecessary. So this war shouldn't have happened. For Russia's case, Russia have no choice, because the way how things is postured by the West, the kind of thing that they have done in Ukraine, and the things that Ukraine they themselves have created, the kind of conditions that they have created, the kind of people that they have empowered, force Russia into no choice but to launch an invasion. If not, then this war will still happen, but later, at a time where Russia would not have such a strong possibility of winning, because by that time, that war between Ukraine and Russia will not be between Ukraine and Russia. It's going to be between NATO and Russia. And with Ukraine as the main bulk of the army, Russia will not win that war conventionally. They will not be able to win that war. And Ukraine will be, like if you see whatever the Ukraine can do right now, even despite they're being sieged by Russia, in the event where Ukraine really went nuts and went all totally crazy, and there wasn't this war in 2022, Ukraine could have messed up Russia quite a lot. Even if just between Ukraine and Russia cannot will win that conventional war in the future, in this alternate timeline, Russia will suffer a lot more. So is Russia invaded to prevent Ukraine from getting further militarized, further more powerful, and further more convinced that they can go up against Russia and join NATO in this kind of state. So that is the reality, and this is just geopolitics. Things happen, and it's predictable. It's just not necessary. Ukraine shouldn't have went the way they went. They should have just stayed neutral. So, but it is what it is. So by now, the reality is that by now, the military aid is not going to make any difference to Ukraine right now. The Russia has already outproduced the West. They have already out-recruited the Ukraine. The war from now on is basically the beginning of the end. It's very hard to imagine things going any other direction unless there's something very huge to happen, to change. Something like NATO declaring war on Russia, that kind of like crazy shit. And if not, then I don't think the status quo will change. So pro-West Ukrainian bought into the romance of the West and are not realizing that joining EU would actually lose Ukraine more money. This is actually the reason why that president that got overthrown during the Euromaidan did not join the EU. The reason why he was overthrown was because when they actually made this calculation, they realized that they will lose a lot of money by joining the EU and cause the Russian-Ukraine free trade agreement to lapse. So Russia and Ukraine during those days, before 2014, they actually have total free trade, like totally free trade. There's no tariff. There's free, nearly, I think maybe free movement. definitely free movement of goods, totally free. There's no tariff. When EU do a free trade agreement with Ukraine but not with Russia, then all the goods will go through Ukraine and into Russia, avoiding the tariff, which is then going around the tariff. There must be a tariff between EU and Russia because there's no free trade agreement between the two. So Ukraine can't sign this kind of deal. If they sign, then Russia have already signaled that they will stop charging Ukrainian products tariff. And so after they calculated, they realized Ukraine will lose a lot of money doing that, which is why they paused the joining, and they told the president then told the Ukrainians that this need to be restudied again because they can't sign it. And Euromaidan happened because they protest against it, and then the president got overthrown. So with this overthrowing, which is against their constitution, they should have just voted him out in the next election, but they did not. So they created the condition, and there is snipers involved in the protest and everything, then caused all these excuses to overthrow the president, and then as a result, giving Russia the excuse to occupy Crimea through a period of anarchy in Ukraine. So, and this also allows Russia to then start to support a rebellion in the eastern part of Ukraine, because the eastern part of Ukraine would never accept this new government that they did not vote for. And and with the conquest of Crimea by Russia, basically Ukraine is forever pro-West. It doesn't matter Donbass votes or not, because the balance of support is now broken. Because with Crimea and Donbass, it's always going to be a 50-50 50% pro-West, 50% pro-Russia. With the loss of Crimea, Ukraine effectively become a pro-West country. And basically, no, I'm quite sure Russia have already calculated this, and they feel like whatever happening in Ukraine is beyond them anymore. So they decided to just cut their losses. They conquer Crimea, and then support a rebellion in the eastern part of Ukraine, and then it all accumulated to the current Ukraine war. So all these things, is just not worth it. To join the EU and cause so much people dying, the collapse of the country, disintegration of Ukraine, it's just not worth it. I don't want to read through this by Armchair Warlord. Basically, I just say that there's no such thing as 100% shoot down of every single missiles and drones. That's not possible. Olga Bazova basically posted and shared that Syrskyi written on his Facebook that Russia has been tasked to conquer Chasiv by the 9th of May. 9th of May is less than a month from now. So, and this is actually, according to her, she wrote that this is actually an imaginary timeline, and I agree. This kind of thing, this kind of the enemy is planning to capture a certain place by a certain day, is clearly imaginary. As much as they can plan, nothing can actually go beyond with the plan. Nothing goes to plan, because it all depends on whether the enemy, for Russia, which is Ukraine, going to deter you more. Are you going to invest more troops into that area? Bring in more equipments to fight with you? So there is no reason to believe that the Russians would put such a tight timeline. To capture Chasiv. Chasiv is one of the most heavily defended town right now along the entire front line. It's very difficult to capture such a huge town. Chasiv is big, probably bigger than Bakhmut, because it's not as concentrated in terms of the urban area as Bakhmut, but in terms of the geographical span of area, Chasiv is extremely difficult. There is a lot of forest patches here and there, and then the town is just stretches for a huge distance, and then the terrain itself is also very hilly. It just don't make sense that the Russians will just plan and say that we're gonna conquer this place in a month. It don't make sense. So this is could possibly be is that they are creating false victories for themselves. So if Syrskyi say that the Russians plan to conquer this in less than a month and they managed to hold Chasiv for more than a month, they can call this a victory, despite losing Chasiv maybe in a few months' time. So this is a false victory that they are creating. And yeah, so this is what I think it is. Then there was this another pro-Ukrainian guy saying that why Russia is blackmailing Ukraine with gas agreements and periodically limiting Ukrainian export to the Russian market until 2014. The reality is that such information is openly you can find it easily on Wikipedia. And I don't understand why there are some certain people who are pro-Ukraine don't really just go and read up and actually just realize what's happening. So if a quick search in Wikipedia, you will find that in 2007, Russia first threatened Ukraine to cut gas because Ukraine did not pay their bills. Of $1.3 billion of gas, they did not pay for it. In 2008, Ukraine decided to pay for the 2007 one, but they refused to pay for the 2008. So Russia cut its shipment because this is just undoable. Ukraine don't want to pay their gas, so they have to cut the gas. So this is what it is. In 2009, Ukraine decided to break their agreement with Russia. They insist on buying lesser gas. So in terms of the contract, there is a fixed amount that they must buy, and they choose not to buy. And instead of buying lesser, because they are actually moving westward, they want to buy from the west. And in 2010, despite Ukraine playing punk, playing all this asshole behavior, keep creating a lot of problems with Russia, Russia decided to still give Ukraine 30% discount. So the gas is now cheaper, despite Ukraine refused to honor their contract, refused to pay their bills. Russia still give them a discount. But of course, Russia cannot give them a discount for nothing. So they decided to exchange this for 25 years extension on the port lease, and of course, and then it also with packed with the possibility of continuing the extension of the lease. However, this did not solve the problem at all. Despite the discount, by 2014, Ukraine owes Russia $4.5 billion. Which means that they did not pay their bill at all. From 2010 to 2014, it seems like they did not pay their bills at all. Because you see that in 2007, it's 1.3 billion. Then by 2014, it's 4.5 billion. Things are just ramping up. And by 2015, Ukraine still did not pay for the gas, as they decided to only buy from EU. So Russia cut gas. So who is blackmailing who? Ukraine is basically playing a game then, trying to, get free gas. So of course by 2014, that was already Euromaidan, and Ukraine already owe that amount of money, already owe it. So by 2015, clearly they already go totally pro West, and of course Russia already annexed Crimea. So Ukraine don't pay for Russian gas. I mean, yeah, that's not a surprise anymore. But the precedence before that, things was already rather shitty. So when we move on, everyone was worried about Israeli retaliation against Iran. So Indonesian embassy in Tehran actually recommend the Indonesian nationals to prepare to run at any time. So, and consider returning to Indonesia. So that's just what something happens. So, and then there was this very ridiculous propaganda footage of these female soldiers saying some very gung-ho words about shooting Russian soldiers like a mad dog or something. But the problem is with this is not, firstly, women soldiers is in this propaganda film trying to it sent a very bad message, because it just shows that there's no guys there's not enough guys for them to shoot propaganda. They need to use female soldiers, like as if it's very scary at all. And also that they thought that the thing that they think that they're going to shoot the Russians like mad dog, they first probably didn't see enough of these war footages from the front line. Most soldiers, I think 99% of the war days, never even see their enemy. They just die. the modern warfare, very few people actually get to storm a trench and actually get into contact with the enemy soldier. Most soldiers just die without ever seeing an enemy at all because of air strikes, artillery strikes, drone strikes, and get hitting the mines, and then the enemy is shooting at you when you go on an assault. Enemy is shooting at you from distance, and then you just die. You don't really see your enemy. So I think all this crazy talk clearly show that these people haven't even seen the front line at all. They haven't even fought before. So yeah, and this is just rather sad. So then there's this Vocatus guy. He was arguing with me about that my SIP rep or he say my posts don't even there's full of bots. He said that my Twitter there's full of a lot of Russian bots because he said that 2,200 views and there's only 10 likes. But the problem is with him is that he had a pin post. His pin post of Aiden have 2.1 thousand views, which is almost the same as the one that he criticized me about for 2.2 thousand. But he said that I only got 10 likes. He only got 6 likes. So he's like, what a self-pawn. Like, yeah, he's like ridiculous. Yeah, so he sucked more. So then there was a Hamas soldier on TikTok trying to collect donations for Palestinians in Gaza. Clearly, to me, that is very scamish. People shouldn't have done it to give him money. But no, it is what it is. They put a flag, the Palestinian flag, in front of some Arabic city thingy, which is clearly not in Gaza because the buildings are standing. Everything in Gaza Strip is flattened, and this clearly isn't also in the West Bank because you don't really want to wear like this in the West Bank openly, and also West Bank I think terrain is a lot more hilly. So anyway. Okay, let's skip that. There's nothing that, and there's some very epic videos of Sukhoi 25 flying past along the river. Well, very very cool. So and then there's this news by Lord Bebo. He posted that there's a transgender in Oregon, I think. Or show, I'm not sure, in the United States, winning the 200-meter sprint by a massive lead. And 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Yeah, the basically almost like 8 seconds difference. The transgender girl won the 200-meter sprint easily, and yeah, this is totally insane. Yeah, there's the reason why there's a guy. There's the gender is separate. They compete in separate categories because they can't put them together. You see, the gap is just ridiculous. It's nonsensical. So then there's the open mic notification. Yeah. So just now the guy who I say that he can start to wake up. He blocked me. Yeah, I gave him too much emotional damage. So emotional damage. So nothing much to comment on this. So I already posted that. So there's a number of posts. This is the DPA open mic. So over the last DPA open mic a few days ago, I started this new thing where I try to engage with the viewers more by posting posting posts for the live chat. Then the questions will be relating directly the same topic as the panelists on the screen were chatting about. So these are some of these results, like how much of the Iranian drone missile do you think was intercepted? So majority of 48% thinks 90% was intercepted. So, and then the PR war, who won the PR war in this Iran strike? And majority thinks that Iran have actually won it, 48%. And then so then there was the Iranian drone strike. Oh, this is already posted. So yeah. So we move on. So these are not important to me. And then there was this Chancellor Scholz, or Scholz, was he's in China, but in diplomatic formalities shows a lot of things, and clearly with the lack of a direct welcome by top ministers or by Xi Jinping himself, the lack of a fanfare. But at least there is still red carpet. That's still not too bad. There is still at least a red carpet. But he's not given the state's welcome. So he's basically just a red carpet to his car, and it's surrounded by press and some people, which is I'm not too sure who. So so this is not high level welcome. So it does shows the how China looks at Germany. They basically looks down on Germany a bit right now, or quite a bit. So Scholz, if I'm not wrong, he's there to try to do some trade deals with, or to try to do more business with China. But I think this is also poorly conceived, because China and Germany is clearly competition in terms of trade and commerce. So both are manufacturing countries. So I'm not sure what kind of deal he's going to get. If you try to open the market to German products, he will have to set up companies and then do technology transfer, and that will only just make China stronger. So yeah, I think he's making the wrong strategic move. But there's nothing much he can do, because he's not. Germany is basically now like the vassal state of the United States. They can't really do independent diplomacy anymore. They have overcommitted into the Ukraine war, supporting Ukraine. So yeah, pecking order clearly established. The big dragon, the big empire, is not going to give the kind of respect to a vassal state, like what they will give to a state of the similar stature. Unfortunately, that's the case. If you're German, I'm sorry, but yeah, this is the reality. You see it for yourself. So, okay, then move on. So Boycott Israel replied to someone else and wrote this. I think it's nice. He said that you can't subjugate a country militarily in the age of nuclear weapons. So US defeated the Soviets through Cold War tactics, through propaganda, spying, infiltration, and of course using the economic system. And yeah, but when the USSR fell, the Americans got drunk on success and regressed, which is true. So, and yeah, a lot of people also posted this very interesting thing. He said that how do you know the Americans are planning a certain military operation? Just check the Papa John's at the Pentagon to see how busy it is. And so if it's very busy, it means something is happening at so a lot of people is at the Pentagon. Very weird. Super weird. So yeah, we are now at half an hour point. I'm not sure if I should continue, but let's move on faster. Let's not go through every single post. So this is the World War I tank. We have F-16s. So I did mention just now, like the wise thing is for Israel not to hit back. So this is where I also wrote it. And luckily, Israel did not hit back. So that's a good thing. If they hit back, then I think, yeah, this is pointless. It's pointless for Israel to hit back. Because like I said, they do not share a land border. So fighting through air war and missiles is just inconvenient for both sides. It's pointless. So, and no one can step down from it. So there's no point. So moving on. Then there's more polls. So all this is on the 15th during the open mic. I was very distracted. So 43% of the people think that Russia will take Odessa through the Mykolaiv, and 42%, just 1% difference, think that it will be awarded through a peace deal during the surrender of Ukraine. So yeah, that's what it is. And so we move on further. Yeah, I was joking about this. So they were talking about Bucha, and then and then people was criticizing and then asking, how did all these buildings along the street got destroyed? And I say it's true NAFO tweeting. So yeah, the so moving on. There was someone say that just is one of the tweet that I will talk about just now about the Ukrainians needing to wake up. Yeah, and I think let's end this video on this last tweet. So no, let's not drag on too far away because it's been a long video already, 32 minutes. So this is about Craig Murray. Craig Murray, he said that he's a former British ambassador, and he said that every US and British embassy are CIA or MI6 station, and all of them will have military personnel, and there are always service special force people. So to think that Iranian consulate not have intelligence or soldiers or something is rubbish. And I basically corroborates or confirms or agree with what he said. The reality is that all embassies are intel centers, all of them. That's the whole point of having an embassy. So because when you have an embassy, that allow you to put in government people and then to actually allow intel gathering, and that's actually the whole purpose of allowing another country to have embassy in your country, because you want that country to know your country better. That's why you want to give them an embassy and let them have their own people come to work in your country, and which is why embassy becomes sovereign ground as well, because they need to do everything. It is like their own country. They have to operate their things, and everyone knows the embassy is intel centers, which is why they are sovereign grounds. They know a lot of secrets and top secrets information will be going through these embassies, which is why they are sovereign grounds. You cannot allow the host country to have police or agents going in and out to investigate what the hell they are gathering. You can't do that. So it's basically an established thing. All embassies are intel gathering centers. So it's just a matter of what kind of intel are they gathering. So some are very basic. It's about culture, understanding the country, who are the important peoples, who are the elites in the country, and the political influence. Who have the political influence within the country. So these are the basic ones, and when it start to go more deeper as they know the country better, it start to more about the ground sentiment versus the government's policies. And then of course some countries have very complicated politics, so it could be about political intrigues. They're trying to understand what the hell is happening between the politics of the country. And of course, they also embassies also tend to do engagement, and which you can also call it influence operations with the country on the ground. They will do festivals, they will do outreach, they will engage schools, all sort of things to influence and to keep this relationship between your country and the host country nice, good. Then you have even more advanced version, which are the covert ones, where they start to fish for military secrets, to fish for secret technological research, to do espionage, spying, and whatnot. And many of these things are actually run within the embassy itself. Or at least the embassy will be the center of operation, of command center to all these things. So unless there is even more scary covert operations that that is so sensitive that they don't even dare to touch the embassy. That's a separate thing altogether. I'm talking purely about embassies. So which is why granting the rights to embassy is not a small thing. It's actually very, very serious thing, because you're giving permission to another country to come to your country to conduct intel operations to basically gather information on your country. So this is very serious, which is why, you know, when relationship break down, that's when you see that they kick out the ambassadors, they close the embassies, because you no longer trust that country to have such a close relationship with you, to have such an intimate relationship. So this is what I wrote about. So anyway, I shall end the video at this point. Thank you for watching. Hope these things are very interesting, and of course, let me know in the comments if you want me to continue, because this is a very new series. So if you find this is very cool, you learn things, or you find my opinions interesting, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next update.